Some of the toughest people you will ever meet are those who have faced the most challenges. Growing up in a difficult family is tough, but it shapes you in ways others might never grasp. Sigma females are not just survivors, they are fighters. They have weathered emotional turmoil, faced deceit, and struggled to discover who they really are amid the chaos. Despite everything, they come out stronger, more resilient, and very aware of themselves. Harmful environments often try to suppress who you are, but Sigma females don't let their past define them. They overcome these challenges, creating a strong and independent foundation that can handle any situation life presents. It's more than just surviving. It's about transforming. Your experiences have made you remarkable. You possess a natural skill to look deeper, to spot lies and patterns, and to create a life that reflects your true values, not just what others expect of you. That's a real superpower. If you're watching this, remember that you are part of a special group. Those who faced tough beginnings but chose to transcend them. Watch the video, recognize your strength, and embrace the power of the Sigma. Your path is yours to design, and the world awaits your leadership. Number 1, they recognize that love is not about control. In unhealthy family dynamics, love is often misrepresented as something restrictive, an expectation to fit in, a silent pressure to obey. Sigma females have seen this firsthand, observing how love can be manipulated to dominate, control, and reduce their freedom. However, they reject this twisted form of affection. For them, love is not about losing their identity or giving up their boundaries. It's about mutual respect and independence. They have reshaped their understanding of what love truly is, an acknowledgement that it flourishes when both individuals have the freedom to be themselves. In their view, love doesn't come with conditions or demands for loyalty that compromise personal identity. Sigma females realize that control disguised as love is merely a cage cloaked in emotional dependency. They have looked beyond the pretense of possessiveness and neediness, realizing that real love should uplift rather than suppress. They are not hesitant to leave relationships or circumstances where love is used as a cover for control. Their view challenges the common beliefs that often link love with sacrifice and giving up oneself. To a Sigma female, love is about mutual understanding, trust, and the liberty to develop individually while also fostering the relationship. They have formed their own definition of love, a love that honors boundaries, appreciates individuality, and supports both individuals in flourishing. Anything less is not acceptable. By doing this, they demonstrate to the world that love is not restricted by control. It is enhanced by it. Number 2, they became experts in survival before they even understood the term. Survival wasn't something Sigma females picked up from books or inspiring talks. It was ingrained in them from an early age, long before they fully grasped its meaning. Growing up in a challenging family environment meant dealing with unpredictable emotions, hidden motives, and constant turmoil every day. They didn't have the comfort of a stable or safe space. Every decision they made was carefully thought out. This environment sharpened their instincts far beyond what most people ever develop. While others might falter under such strain, Sigma females became tougher. They learned to rely on themselves, becoming their own support. Living in a toxic environment didn't just teach them how to get by. It taught them how to excel in situations that could have broken them. They understood that survival was about more than just physical safety. It was about shielding their thoughts and emotions from the chaos that surrounded them. Their mental toughness is their hidden strength. It's why they can handle any situation, no matter how complex or disordered, with calm. They are unbothered by chaos because they've experienced it before and emerged stronger. They don't look for others to validate their choices. They trust their own instincts because those instincts were forged in the toughest conditions. In a world that often values comfort, Sigma females show that overcoming adversity builds a solid foundation. They embody self-reliance, not by choice, but out of necessity, and they've turned that necessity into their greatest asset. Number 3, they see people's true intentions easily. Growing up in a harmful household meant being constantly exposed to deceit, partial truths, and control games disguised as affection. For Sigma females, this wasn't just a tough situation, it was their learning environment. They didn't just accidentally learn to understand people, it was essential for their survival. Over time, they became adept at noticing behaviors that most people miss, identifying dishonesty before it's voiced, and understanding the real motives behind someone's actions long before others catch on. This isn't just natural instinct. It's a skill refined through years of observing actions that contradicted words. They've learned to interpret what silence might mean, how a change in tone could have a hidden purpose, and when a smile might be hiding something sinister. These experiences taught them to never just accept things as they appear. They don't only hear what people say, they think about why they say it, and what they might be leaving unsaid. Their ability to perceive people's true natures without being explicitly informed isn't about being overly suspicious. It's about having clear insight. Living in a toxic environment helped them build a mental library of human behaviors, turning every falsehood, betrayal, and manipulative tactic into a new lesson. By adulthood, their emotional detection is so sharp that deceiving them is nearly impossible. They don't always challenge every falsehood or reveal every manipulation. Sometimes they just observe and let others reveal their true selves. This ability isn't just protective, it gives them an advantage. Sigma females navigate life with a unique insight, not because they mistrust everyone, but because they can see through them. In a world that often values outward appearances, their capacity to recognize the truth is a rare and valuable trait. Number 4, they had to create their own identity from nothing. Growing up in a damaging family environment is like trying to discover who you are in a room full of twisted mirrors. What you see isn't true. It's just what others fear, expect, or haven't dealt with themselves. A harmful family doesn't support being unique. Instead, it suppresses it by enforcing rules, similarity, and quietness. For Sigma females, this oppressive setting didn't shape who they became. It motivated them to form their own identity from the ground up. In such families, showing your true self is often met with mockery, controlling behavior, or complete denial. Sigma females soon understand that to get through this, they can't depend on others' approval. It's usually missing or misleading. Thus, they look within. They begin to challenge everything. What do they truly believe in? What excites them? What principles do they wish to follow? These questions lay the groundwork for building an identity that is shaped not by others, but is purely their own. This journey is tough. It requires them to reject the labels their family has attached to them, too emotional, too independent, too extreme. It involves finding strength when alone and trusting their own judgments, even when everyone else says they're mistaken. But through this fight against control, they create an identity so genuine and solid that no level of criticism or denial can disturb it. By the time they become adults, Sigma females are powerfully self-determined. They don't look for claps, approval, or permission to be themselves. Their identity stands strong and unaffected by trends, public opinions, or social pressures. In a world where many are still figuring out who they are, Sigma females are noticeable because they know they didn't just discover themselves, they consciously built themselves piece by strong piece. Number 5. They are the perfect blend of gentle and tough. Sigma females are a unique mix of gentleness and toughness, a combination that makes people both fascinated and cautious about how to interact with them. Having grown up in harsh environments, they have seen the worst in human behavior: deceit, betrayal, and harshness. Yet this exposure didn't turn them hard as rock. Rather, it taught them to carefully choose when to be gentle. Their kindness is not blind or simplistic. It's thought out. They show it to those who merit it, recognizing that being empathetic is a strong skill, not a flaw. However, when necessary, their tough side comes out, slicing through deceit, lies, and trickery with sharp accuracy. This isn't out of spite. It's a survival technique refined from years of dealing with toxic situations. What makes them mysterious is their unpredictability. People can't easily label them because they can be deeply caring one moment and incredibly decisive the next. This mix of softness and strength keeps them balanced and influential. They know when to nurture and when to defend, when to offer help and when to step back. Sigma females represent the ideal equilibrium, gentle enough to be relatable, yet tough enough to guard themselves. In a world that often wants one or the other, they excel by embodying both. Compassion one moment and setting firm boundaries the next. They assess situations with striking clarity, knowing when to extend a hand and when to withdraw without hesitation. This balance is their strength. Their gentleness lets them connect with others on a meaningful level, while their toughness ensures they are never exploited. It's this two-sided nature that keeps others guessing, never quite sure which side they will encounter. Sigma females are not just survivors, they are masters of change, using empathy and resilience equally to manage a world that is often unfair. Number 6. They learn to break family cycles. In harmful families, dysfunction often seems like a legacy, handed down across generations, repeating patterns of pain, deceit, and dominance. For Sigma females, this is the starting point of their path. They decide not to bear the burden of these chains any longer. They are the ones who break away, aiming to create a new story for themselves and for those who will follow. Breaking these family cycles is a tough challenge. It involves facing deeply ingrained toxic behaviors, often leading to emotional distress and feelings of loneliness. Yet, Sigma females realize that enduring this pain is essential for true freedom. They understand that to heal and become independent, they must confront harsh truths about their family's past and about themselves. They reject the notion that dysfunction is normal. Instead, they work towards creating a legacy of emotional resilience and self-sufficiency, a legacy where their descendants won't be trapped by the same cycles of control and disconnection. This process involves a difficult but empowering journey of unlearning the toxic habits they grew up with. For many, breaking free feels like starting over. Sigma females rebuild their identity, establish healthy boundaries, and nurture a self-relationship that was lacking before. They avoid passing on harmful patterns because they have learned that being true to oneself and independent are crucial for liberation. Through their bravery and persistence, Sigma females turn their family history into a strong source of empowerment. They become the exception, the one who opts to dismantle dysfunction and create something new. A future where emotional well-being and freedom are the base, not just for themselves but for future generations as well. Number 7. They develop a strong core hidden by grace. Living in a harsh environment often pushes people to their emotional limits. For Sigma females, this situation is not just a challenge. It's a tough test that shapes their resilience and flexibility into a powerful force. They avoid loud arguments or showing off their strength openly. Instead, they grow a quiet, steadfast determination, a strong backbone hidden by grace. Handling tough situations is difficult, especially when negativity removes feelings of safety and trust. However, Sigma females manage to get through these tough times without losing their kindness. They learn to adjust, skillfully handle the chaos, and keep their cool during emotional stress. Their strength is subtle but clear. What makes them unique is their ability to remain steady without seeming proud or defensive. They don't have to show their power by being dominating or manipulative. Their mere presence is enough, showing their toughness and confidence. This quiet strength can touch and motivate others, often having a deep effect on those they meet. Sigma females believe that real strength is not about controlling others, but being genuine and emotionally wise. They lead with elegance, not by pushing, but by showing the way. Their strong resilience helps them not just overcome past difficulties, but also face future challenges while keeping their respect and care. In a world that often prizes noise and disorder, Sigma females are examples of a type of strength that doesn't seek attention. Their peaceful yet powerful spirit is profound, a reflection of the beauty of enduring challenges with grace. Number 8, they don't fall for emotional tricks. In some families, emotions are not just felt, they're used as tools. People might use guilt trips, sad stories, and sudden outbursts to control others. This often makes people feel confused and unsure about themselves. However, Sigma females handle things differently. From a young age, they notice how emotions can be misused. They understand that feeling guilty doesn't always mean they've done something wrong, and that true love should be free of conditions. They become smart, not cold-hearted. As kids, they hear things like, "After all I've done for you," or "If you really loved me, you would do this." They realize these are not really expressions of love, but tricks to make them do what others want. They learn how to free themselves from these emotional tricks, knowing what's real care and what's just manipulation, pretending to be affection. As adults, they are no longer affected by emotional blackmail. They don't let guilt or emotional tricks change their path. They've dealt with such tactics before and won't let anyone control them with tears, tantrums, or guilty demands. This doesn't mean they don't care about others' feelings. They do feel deeply, but have learned to not let someone else's efforts to control them influence their actions. They maintain their independence, not letting guilt drive their decisions. When someone tries to manipulate them, they don't argue or justify themselves. They simply don't engage. This ability to resist manipulation isn't just a way to protect themselves. It's a powerful statement of their freedom. Sigma females show that once you recognize manipulation for what it is, it can't affect you anymore. Number 9, they value freedom above all. For Sigma females, freedom is essential, not just a nice to have. Raised in tough family environments, they often felt their freedom was restricted. Their choices, thoughts, and unique traits were controlled or ignored, all under heavy expectations. This lack of freedom deeply instilled a lifelong need for independence. However, their desire for freedom is not just about resisting authority or escaping control. It's about protecting who they truly are. For Sigma females, being free means more than making their own choices. It means having the space to think, feel, and be themselves, without anyone meddling. They refuse to let others set the course of their lives or box their spirit into someone else's standards. Their passion for freedom influences all their decisions. They make their own unique paths, whether that's leaving a job that conflicts with their beliefs, ending a stifling relationship, or rejecting societal rules that don't fit their true selves. This constant drive for independence is not just about being stubborn, it's essential for their survival. To them, freedom is the highest form of self-respect. It's their way of declaring, "I won't be limited by the constraints I was put in." Once they experience true freedom, they protect it fiercely. No trick, force, or external pressure can convince them to give it up. Their spirit remains wild, strong, and completely free, no matter what. Number 10. They turn pain into purpose. In tough family situations, pain can feel like a heavy weight, clouding thoughts and dragging down spirits. But for Sigma females, this pain turns into a valuable gift, a source of deep purpose. They go through emotional chaos, manipulation, and confusion, which makes them dig into life's big questions. This intense look at pain makes them face hard truths about themselves and the world. Instead of ignoring or distracting themselves from their struggles, Sigma females use their suffering to gain insights. They closely examine their pain, looking for understanding instead of a way out. For them, pain isn't just a setback, it's a starting point. It acts like a guide, leading them toward growth and a purposeful life. While some might avoid tough experiences, Sigma females embrace them. They know that overcoming challenges builds resilience and wisdom. Their path isn't easy. It demands facing the darkest parts of themselves and dealing with complex relationships, especially with those who've hurt them most. But instead of growing bitter or feeling sorry for themselves, they use their pain as a driving force. Their purpose doesn't come from comfort or ease, but from enduring tough times. They transform pain into strength, gaining clarity, self-awareness, and a commitment to live authentically, valuing freedom and meaning. Number 11. They discover how to lead without trying to dominate. Growing up in a harmful family often means living under control that's dressed up as affection. Every decision is closely examined, every error made bigger, and every attempt to be independent is pushed back. Sigma females understand better than most how overwhelming this control can feel, and they reject it completely. They choose a completely different approach from the one they were raised with. They guide others not by taking over, but by helping them reach their potential. Having endured manipulation and overmanagement, they realize the significant difference between supporting someone and dominating them. Sigma females naturally stay away from forcing their opinions on others. They believe that real leadership isn't about forcing people to follow, but about earning their trust and respect. They let people decide for themselves, even if those choices result in mistakes, because they believe learning is more important than being perfect. Their way of leading is quiet, yet impactful. They create a space where people feel acknowledged, listened to, and valued, not because they need to feel in charge, but because they know how life-changing such a space can be. This skill to encourage independence comes from a deep conviction. Control limits, but freedom enables. Sigma females set an example, showing that strength doesn't need to be aggressive and authority doesn't need to be scary. They have seen how destructive harsh control can be, and they are committed to doing the opposite. Their way of leading doesn't just work, it changes lives, spreading a wave of self-esteem and self-reliance wherever they are. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. This quote by John Maxwell sums up what makes Sigma females truly stand out. They don't just hear, they understand. They have become skilled at noticing the unspoken, the vibes, intentions, and truths that many overlook. This talent is not just about understanding others. It's about living with clarity and depth that makes them unique. If you see yourself as a Sigma female, realize this: you are one of the most rare and perceptive people on the planet. Your ability is to look past the surface, to the heart of what people really are. While the world often values loudness and showing off, you find strength in the quiet understanding and being genuine. And truthfully, this isn't always easy. It can be lonely and tough to see things others don't, or to recognize when someone's motives aren't good. Number 12. They embrace change as a path to growth. Sigma females know that change can be scary, but they also understand that it's necessary for growth. Growing up in difficult environments meant that they often had to adapt quickly to survive. This constant need to adjust didn't make them afraid of change. Instead, it taught them to welcome it. While others may resist stepping out of their comfort zones, Sigma females see change as a chance to learn and improve. They view every new situation, whether good or bad, as an opportunity to discover something new about themselves and the world. This mindset allows them to evolve and stay strong, no matter what life brings. They don't cling to the past or fear the future, because they believe that each change brings them closer to becoming their best selves. Number 13. They protect their energy by setting boundaries. Sigma females understand that their energy is precious, and they don't allow just anyone to drain it. After dealing with people who tried to control or manipulate them, they've learned how important it is to set strong boundaries. They are kind, but they won't tolerate disrespect or dishonesty. If someone crosses their limits, they don't hesitate to step back and protect their peace. This doesn't mean they're rude or distant. It means they respect themselves enough to walk away from toxic situations. Sigma females know that saying no is a form of self-care, not selfishness. By keeping clear boundaries, they stay focused, healthy, and in control of their lives. Number 14. They trust their own journey, not society's timeline. Sigma females understand that life isn't a race, and they don't feel pressured to follow the paths that society says they should. While others might feel rushed to meet milestones like getting married, starting a family, or landing a certain job by a certain age, Sigma females move at their own pace. They know that success and happiness look different for everyone. Instead of comparing themselves to others, they focus on building a life that feels right for them. This confidence in their own journey allows them to make decisions that truly reflect their values and goals. Whether it takes longer or looks different from what's normal, they're proud of their progress because it's real and meaningful. But this ability also makes you incredibly powerful. Remember, your perspective isn't just a talent, it's a duty. How you view the world can encourage others to be more genuine, more purposeful, and more truthful. So, value your distinctiveness. You're not just watching, you're guiding, challenging, and reflecting truths that others can't ignore. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.